So
in the meantime.
So it's CBT.
Yeah, that's when you go back. Oh, yeah, look at the right hand side.
It's just a script.
Right. So as you can see, when I click on colorize, it decolorize it. Okay. So over here we have custom. You can only boost the yellow. So I say colorize, and it brings the color to its proper mode. I'm using it. You see, we now see the color in the proper mode. So we say okay. Then we use, look at it. We go to the adjustment layer and select exposure. Okay? Then you tweak on exposure like this. It gives better exposure. Then you offset a little bit. Okay? Then it's a gamma correction. Okay, then back to layers. Now we want all what we've done here so far to be in the same group. So what do we do?
Control E.
Oh, no, Control E will merge them. So we say we press Shift and click on that. Okay, and we say Command G to group it. Okay, so that if Command G to group it, so that if we want to do manipulation, we target only that. So for instance, look at that. If I say Command M, as I've selected the group, okay, it's a Command M, okay, or when I come in and say this, give me the curve, okay, and if I manipulate on that, you see, it affects everything in the group. Okay, now we are able to make some still distinction between the colors. We have separated the colors in such a way that it's looking a bit clearer to us. But the client was interested in the artistic impression of that. As I said, it's going to be a series of tutorials we're going to do. So the first thing we do right now is to go on filter. Okay, on a filter, we move down to filter gallery. Filter gallery. Then we select sketch. Okay, there are different form of sketches. I mean, all kind of sketch ideas. But we interested in graphic pen. Okay, so when we get, see that we are not seeing the image. So Z. We're not seeing the image yet. Okay, so let's cancel that. Come off here, and we add this one to the group. Okay, now what we can do to make our work easier, we can highlight this and that, and we say Command word E to merge it as one. Okay, then we come back to the filter. Then we say filter gallery. Okay, it gives us the image, but we can't see it. So we have to zoom out. So we get, first of all, let's go to the sketch and select that. Then Okay, you see what we get over here is not a true reflection of. It's supposed to be a black and white. Okay, so let's come off this place here. You say cancel. Then what do we do? Who can suggest something?
Did you do the change the image to black and white first and then go change the filter?
Yes, not yes. We're supposed to be monochrome. So what you do is make this one more like a black and white. Okay. So how do we do that? Who can tell me?
Just use blending options.
You can use the blending mode. So the only time we can do that, you have to open NS and set the blending mode to. Have we seen it like black and white?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it?
No, we're not supposed to change it to black and white.
Are you sure?
No, only
Oh.
if you use the gradient like
Exactly.
Oh, for me.
So what do I do?
there's an adjustment there.
Who can tell me?
Adjustments.
Yeah, there's adjustment where it says black and white.
Adjustment.
So we can use
Blending options.
the blending mode, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you go to image, adjustment. Okay, and we see black and white somewhere. Black and white. But if you look at it, you see that it doesn't look more like a black and white. You see some coloration. Have you seen it? So you got to do some tweaks because it's a black and white. Yes, if it's a black and white, you will not see some colors. If I say tint, it's changed as well. Okay, if I say auto, okay, auto, what do you see? Now let's say, okay, if you zoom out, you will see that the image is not complete black and white. So what do you do? What do we do? Who can tell me? There's something here that can help us. We have used it before.
Gradient.
And what is gradient map? Do you see gradient map here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is it?
it's
Second
the
sentence.
second bottom.
So you see it. So you see, I wanted to see what if you guys remember because when we change this one here to actual black, and this to pure white, then this becomes more like a black and white. Okay. So let's look at it. You don't see colors over here. Back to layers. Okay. Now let command what?
G.
To merge it.
E.
G. Command E. If you want to group, it's command what? G. Command or control G. With you it will be control. So with this, now we go to filter layers. Okay. Then we go to filter gallery. Okay. Then we zoom out, we zoom in to see our image. Okay. Now let's go to the sketch and take the graphic pen. Okay. You see that it's come back to blue. You see why Is it so? Who can tell me?
You have to use the same on the side, light dark balancing.
No, definitely we gotta manipulate. We gotta manipulate the stroke length and a light dark balance, and also this diagonal. You see, as you draw, some people draw from left, some people draw from right. So to sketch, okay, some would like to use horizontal or left diagonal or vertical.
I think I know.
What do you call it?
If you cancel this, you know when you have to, you know in the corner of like the toolbar,
Mhm.
you have to select two colors. Can it be that the main color that we're using is blue?
Okay, now I like what you're saying. So when we come here
Us-
in the tools,
Mm.
so black, see, that's how we face problem. If people can think out of the box, right? Imagine this, because most of them are not, we've left everything with the white people. To say we think the engineer and everything has been done. But it's not so. We too can use a brain. All right, so let's see, filter to great filter gallery. We can't see the image, so what do we do?
see that?
So we come here. Okay, now filter gallery. Our interest that we want to use a sketch. And we're interested in a pen. You see? So when you get to this point, you do manipulation from the stroke length. Let me get this one. It's all about manipulation. Manipulating the stroke length, light or darkness balance. Okay. If you know how to shade, you see that light, okay, that every shade depends upon the direction of the light. So when the light is coming from here, a certain portion will be more darker than the other. So when the light is coming from here, what will be the composition? Tell me. If the light is falling on me like that, what will be the shadow?
Yeah, on the opposite side.
So you do art in the college. You don't do art.
I'm gonna do it in 6 months.
Alright. So stroke light. We'll push this one a bit. Use it a bit. Okay. Let's choose vertical and see. Let's choose right diagonal. So with this that you are seeing, we're going to do more with it because definitely this it still looks like how do I call it? It still looks like a picture, but then it's supposed to look more artistic. Okay, that is what we are going to do more next week. You understand? Where you will look at a picture and say, wow, this picture look drawn with a hand. Okay. Now even when I click on that, let's see, rough pastel, I don't get a feel. If
You could just see just a little bit.
yeah, I'm coming. I mean, because I've shifted, I will do something. If I click on that from green, it gives me something. It's all a manipulation of the highlights. If I go like that, you see, I'm not getting what I want. Intensity, I'm boosting it Wasn't it high? It takes the white off. You see? So let's back to this. Okay. Now we have 11 and 67. Let's go for it. Let me see. So what do you see? The more we move to the right, what do you see?
Shading is like becomes
More intense.
like, yes, almost sketchy.
So now we see 76. Let's put in 30 and let's see.
They just listed the printing in that week.
Yes. So where were we? 71.5, 76, 80.
You see the shading in the forehead.
Yes. It's definitely
Cheeks.
fine. What about here? Now our stroke length is 11. We'll put it to say 15. What do you see? It was 11. Let me push it to say 5.
The um the, sh- uh, the shading becomes lighter. So the forehead was a bit darker before. Yeah. So it's the visible spots up.
So you see the deflation goes down. Yeah, it goes down. But
see the shadows.
yeah, but our interest is to let it look more like it's been sketched. Okay. In art, we have what's called impasto. Do you know what's called impasto? What's impasto?
Is it like, I haven't really done it, but
No, it's an English language.
yeah, I know
Impasto.
it's like,
It's an Italian language, eh? Impasto, you just like you paste on top of it for it to define the roughness. Okay, so we have something we call palette. So you have the colors, you use your palette to pick the paint and scratch it on it. That is the impasto. So if you look at this, what they call it, the ingredients we have over here. So look at this one. This is full grain, and we have fresco. It's a fresco effect. Okay, we have this. We have rough pastel. If you use the rough pastel, see, it helps you to see the roughness of the canvas. You see, the canvas have got vertical and horizontal lines. You all know canvas. If you don't, the canvas is what the artist paint on. Okay, so it gives you the grainy nature roughness of. But here we're not even seeing it. Okay, if you look at underpainting, for instance, so by tweaking the textures, if you look at the texture, it says canvas. Look over here, it says here, it says canvas. So we have brick. If I say brick, you all know bricks, isn't it? This is how it's supposed to look with the bricks. It's trying to gather brick. Bricks. Right. You see, we didn't see the brick. Why? Why we don't see the brick? Because we have to tweak all the scales. The scale here is 100%. The relief, okay, let me push it down and see. It's a bit slow. Okay, then let's work on the relief. Okay, we're not it's not giving any distinctive. So that's what I want you to see, because then we're going to tweak. We're going to use this one to do a lot of stuff. Yeah, next week, because we want it to look more the Rolex things. Well, if you really want to shade, you can also shade for the work to look like that. Yes, but we want it to look more realistic. Okay, so we say, okay, we want it to look more realistic. Okay, more realistic in an artistic sense. So next week, we will continue. Do you all remember what we've done so far? Can you summarize it for me?
First of all, when we opened the image, we first controlled color balance using Control B, color balance, and then after control balance, we then went for hue and saturation by using Control U.
Control U, Control B.
Yeah, and then afterwards, we applied a gradient map to the image to change it to black and white. But there was an error that we saw before, and they pointed out a solution to it, and then we got the image to be treated black and white. Then afterwards, we went to the filters, and then went to filter gallery, and then we're going through different filters, and then we went to the graphical pen, and we're changing the setting within that filter to make it to bring the effect that we wanted.
Tell me something about what you learned today. Now, bring to point on him for the world to see what he's saying. Yeah, can you see him clearly? Can you see him clearly? Okay, so tell something about what you learned today. I want to watch today.
Towards the camera. We learned about how to change the settings in between the what's it called, filter gallery, and how to how to play with what's the name?
How to play with what? The filters and what?
Yeah, the how to change the certain shades of the image, and
All right, okay. We'll come back to you. Point to Isaiah to summarize it for us. Is it not too big?
In the beginning, when we open up the image, we use Control B for color balance, and we use that to edit the image a little bit, and then also use Control U for hue and saturation. Then afterwards, we applied a color gradient to the image to bring out the shadows and also the lights of the image, to also make it black and white as well. But before that, there was an error, and then Leah pointed out a solution to the error, which helped us to get the image to actually be black and white instead of applying a blue layer to it. And afterward.
Awesome. So tell us something you've learned, Mr. Bambu.
Okay, so what I learned is that in the filter gallery, there's different types of filters. There's artistic ones, there's brush strokes. There's some that distort the image, sketches, stylize, and texture. And I used poster edges, and it gave a comical feel.
All right. Now, me.
Me.
Yes. You should tell yourself and do something for us.
Today we learned about, we went over luminosity, and we went over filters, how we can make images that we're using more artistic, or in Aaron's case more like they're in a comic book or something. We were having trouble because every time we selected it, the image would turn blue. The solution was because we selected blue as our primary color. So once we changed that, then the whole image was changed to black and white. But yeah, so we learned how to change images to make them more artistic, as if someone like drew them with their hand.
Fantastic. So as you can see, these are the future stars. You know, the guys who are going to take over the design. You know, so it's beautiful. I'm so excited that these guys are really learning something new, and then we have more to come. You can join us anytime we having our discussion online. Nice to catch up with you guys. We'll link up again. Same time tomorrow. I mean, the same time Saturday. Yeah. Bye. So Bishop is watching all this at home. So you understand it? Are you sure you want to end your stream? Yes. So it's gone.